For the past 8 years, I have been the coordinator for our cardiovascular programs here at Cadre Valley. Simply what that means is I track all of the data and all of our heart attack patients, our cardiac arrest patients, and our chest pain patients. So many of you sitting in this room who do not work with me, our survivors and our AMI patients have probably spoken with me on the telephone or seen me in your room as I do the education for our patients. April 12th, 2019, I was at work and my shoulders started to ache. I felt like I had the flu. I certainly would like to think that I'm pretty well versed in heart attacks and risk factors, so I did not think that I was having a heart attack. I went through my entire work day, got home that evening, and still didn't feel right. I just felt like I had the flu. I was just achy. I never had chest pain. My husband got home that evening and called a friend of mine, and he said, something's not right with Sommer. I think you need to come over. And my very dear friend came to my house and contacted one of our ED physicians and tried very hard to get me to go to the hospital. But I was not having an emergency, therefore I did not need to go to the hospital. At least that's what I thought. That went on for about another hour when I finally said, okay, I'm miserable enough to the point, let's go. Lead medic got to my house, performed my EKG, and it was in fact a heart attack. It was in fact a STEMI. My care therefore went very quickly, went straight to the emergency department. One of my very favorite emergency department physicians met me at the door with my cardiologist. We went straight to the cath lab, and they didn't find a blockage. So they shot another set of images and found out that I, in fact, had a dissection. I spent 5 days in the hospital, was discharged from medical management with the thoughts of, it's a fluke, it's not common, so it'll likely never happen again. November 6th, 2022, in the middle of the night, I developed chest pain that radiated into my shoulder and into my back. There was no doubt in my mind, that is textbook symptoms, right? There was no doubt in my mind I was having a heart attack. And I told my husband, I said, I need for you to call 911 because something's not right. My husband had come down and sat down on the floor with me. I was very restless. I was from the chair to the floor, from the chair to the floor. And while he was on the phone with the 911 dispatcher, I told him, if somebody does not get here, I'm going to die. For all of my healthcare professionals sitting in this room, you've had patients that have had that sense of impending doom, but I'm going to tell you, it is real and it is terrifying. My medic crew got to me very quickly, put me on the stretcher, took me to the ambulance, and I remember looking at them and I said, I don't feel good. And I don't remember much after that because apparently that's when I went into cardiac arrest. I am so thankful for the fact that I was in that ambulance when I went into cardiac arrest because 4 minutes had elapsed from the time they got to me in my living room until the time I went into cardiac arrest. If I had waited 4 minutes longer to have my husband call 911, or he had tried to drive him to the hospital himself, my outcome would have been very different. I read a quote recently that I feel like applies to our survivors and probably most of our healthcare providers. It says, the things you do for yourself are gone when you are gone, but the things you do for others remain as your legacy. Your story is your legacy. Tell it. It took me a very long time. Well, I say very long time, it's been 3 months, but to me that's forever. It took me a long time to want to talk about it. Again, I am standing in a room full of my peers, of my co-workers, and I did not want those individuals looking at me like, no, she's a survivor now. No, I'm still the same person and this is what I do. But don't be ashamed of it. For my healthcare team members, families will relive over and over again the events of your just another shift, make sure you would be satisfied with the instant replay of their once-in-a-lifetime tragedy. Thank you.